Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today we have got a puzzle that has been recommended to us umpteen times over the last few weeks. It's called Counting Thermos by Scojo, and it is a chaos construction. What does that mean? A chaos construction Sudoku is one where, well, normally in Sudoku, obviously we have 3x3 boxes. In chaos construction, the 9-cell regions have to be determined by the solver, so they could look, I don't know, I'm going to get the count wrong. Is that 9 cells? That's probably 9 cells. So that could be a region that has to contain the digits 1 to 9 once each, and then you might have to find another region, which could be something like this. That's probably too many cells. That is too many cells. So something like that, etc. Yeah, but apparently this is a wonderful puzzle. It's got a very, very unusual rule set. And I will read that to you in a moment or two's time. But I've got some things to tell you about first. The first thing actually I will mention is that there is a bonus video on the channel which we released this morning at 10 o'clock UK time, which is my solve of an older puzzle, but an absolutely brilliant one. It's by the incredible TotallyNormalCat, and it's called Broken Secrets. And if you like your Sudokus hard and interesting, you should definitely check that out. And you can watch my solve. That solve's been on Patreon for a while, but we thought some of you on the main channel might like to see it as well. So that is there. I will try and remember to put a link on the screen. Next thing is it is the 20th of January today, and that means it is the closing date for our January competition. So if you're a patron of the channel on Patreon and you've been working your way through all the fun of the fair, then you need to get your solutions into us by the close of business today. We're generous regarding when close of business is, because obviously everyone's in different time zones. But you haven't got an awful lot of time left. And if you are stuck on the last puzzle or two, get yourselves over to the fan Discord server, where there is a Patreon only chat channel, and lots of hints are available over there. And we'll announce the winners obviously soon. Now, what else did I need to mention? There was other things. We don't know yet when we're going to be doing the next Hex Cell stream. I've got some birthdays to do, so why don't we do those? I'll start with Dennis over there in Delaware, and this is from Nicole, who wrote to us to say that A, you're having, well, it's your birthday, obviously. B, apparently you're having chocolate cake today, which is, it's already going to be a good birthday. And apparently, Dennis, you're a solver who watches a lot of the videos and often says the things I go on to say a few seconds later. So I wish you were in my head, frankly. That would be much better. The videos would be shorter. I think most people, I'm always worried if I take too long to solve, but I certainly wish that my brain was a little bit quicker from time to time. But Dennis, many happy returns. Next to Catherine, this is from your husband Maxime, and apparently Catherine never misses a video, which is, well, that's very welcome news, Catherine. And I have a message to read to you from Maxime, which is happy birthday, Catherine Santana de Rolland, my true love and Sudoku lover. So there you go, Catherine. I hope you have a brilliant birthday today. Many happy returns. And then we're going to go over to Canada and Edmonton in Canada, where Miles, it's your birthday today. And I know this because your wife Carleen wrote to us and said apparently you are having gluten-free chocolate cake today. And the two of you have both been watching since COVID times. Well, yeah, that was a while ago now, wasn't it? We've been doing 2 videos a day now on the channel since the start of the first lockdown. So that is years and years. But we never get bored of Sudoku. So it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And that is all the birthdays read out. So let's turn our attention to actually solving some Sudoku and have a look at what Scojo has in store for us. We've got the following rules. So it says chaos construction Sudoku. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, column and 9-cell orthogonally connected region. The location of each region must be determined. So let's just deal with the words orthogonally connected. That means that how many cells is that? That's only 8, isn't it? That is not a 9-cell orthogonally connected region, because this naughty little cell here only touches the rest of the green cells at a point, at the sort of vertex. and it's not orthogonally connected. Orthogonally connected means shares an edge. So we can make the greens orthogonally connected by moving this one up one, and that's a lot better. Then we've got counting thermos. It says along a thermometer, digits must increase from the bulb to the tip. Okay, so that's normal thermometer rules. So if this square here was a 1, then this square here could be a 3, 5, 8, 9. That would be a totally legitimate way of filling a Sudoku thermometer. You've just got to make sure that as mercury rises, as the temperature rises, so must our digits rise in value as we move away from the Sudoku bulb towards the tip. The digit in the bulb, right, the digit in the bulb of a thermometer indicates how many thermometer bulbs contain that digit. So how many of those, oh, hang on, when I clicked on that, it's highlighted that. That's not a thermometer bulb. Oh, I don't understand that at all. That is absolutely mysterious. Anyway, let's count those. There are 7 bulbs, I think, although the machine thinks that one's a bulb. So there are 7 bulbs. So in theory, although I can see this doesn't work, you could write 7 into all the bulbs, because 7 bulbs then have 7 in them. And that's what this is saying. But you could have, let's just change this slightly. You could have 5s and 2s, couldn't you? Because that would be saying that 2 bulbs have 2 in them, and they do, and 5 bulbs have 5 in them, and 5 bulbs do have 5 in them. So yeah, it's okay. So this is it's like a circles rule, but applied to the bulb of the thermometer. Now it then says, additionally, the digit in the bulb of a thermometer indicates how many times that thermometer crosses a border between regions. So if this was a 2, you'd be saying that this thermometer has to have, yeah, okay, so we could have that, I think, as an example of how this thermometer could be divided up, because effectively there's a cut. Let's try and use the pen tool. There's a cut there, and there's a cut there. So there are 2 cuts. This thermometer has crossed borders twice, and therefore that 2 is correct. So if it cut it again there, and this was, say, purple, then this couldn't be a 2, I think. That would need to be a 3 now. Yeah, because there are 3 black lines, effectively, dividing the thermometer. Okay, so that's all the thermometer rules. There are 2 more rules. It says squares. A digit in a square indicates how many cells in its region are on a thermometer. How many cells in its region? Okay, goodness me. So, okay, so if this square was a 5, that would be saying that the region of which that's a part, let's just try and make this work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we could do that and then stay out. So something like that, I think, might be a possible region if this was a 5, because there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells in that region that are on thermometers. So that's another unusual rule. And then finally, there is a rule that says inequality. A V shape between 2 digits points to the lower digit. So this is smaller than that. Although that does look just like... That's actually... I might have to change that. I'm just thinking that looks exactly like a V, which typically in Sudoku indicates that these 2 digits add up to 5, because V is the Roman numeral for the number 5. So I may well forget that. I might have to change the shape of that V before this video goes live. If indeed it does, I will have to be able to solve the puzzle first, and this has got 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so it is not likely to be a pushover. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, but now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, oh, it's done it again. Okay, so there are 7 bulbs here. Now what that means is, because it means that the digits we put in these bulbs have to sum to 7. And that means they're either I can't see why they can't be 1, 2, 4. They could probably be 1, 2, 4. 1, 2 and 4 add up to 7. So if we did put 1, 2 and 4 in, that would tell us that one bulb has a 1 in it, 2 bulbs have a 2 in it, and 4 bulbs have a 4 in it. So that might be possible. But otherwise, if it's not that, well, I can tell you something for free. It's not all bulbs have 7, is it? For many reasons. For example, there would be 2 7s in column 9, but also you can't put 7 in the tip of a 5 or in the bulb of a 5-cell thermo, because if you did, this square would have to be 10 or higher, and it can't be because Sudoku rules have to be obeyed. So it's not one. These aren't all 7s for sure. We've either got a 2-digit sum adding up to... actually, how many... no, okay, so it's not 1 and 6, which is another option we could have had. We could have had 6 bulbs with 6 in them, but I think we've got 5 5-cell thermos here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, okay... well, we also haven't got... so we haven't got 6 and 1. That's hopefully clear. Because if you put 6 into the bulb of a 5-cell thermo, which you would have to do into many, many bulbs, you're going to reach 10 by the time you get to the end. Now, actually, I've now noticed that this is not 5, 2 either. Because if it was 5, 2, the 5s... oh, no, maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong about that. Actually, I've just realised something. I could switch this round. What I was going to say is you couldn't put 5 into the bulbs of all the 5-cell thermos. That's true. But of course you don't need to, because you've got 2 thermos that could actually have as high as 6 on their bulbs. So we could put 5s into those 2. And then, that's quite difficult to do. Maybe it is hard to put as many as 5 different digits into this. We've got 1 unit of Sudoku there, that's a column. 1 unit there, that's a row. So you could have 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Yeah, you can do it. You can do it like that. I mean, there might be a reason that doesn't work. Just trying to see what it might be. Okay, I don't know. So 5, 5, 2. If it's not 5, 2, it could be 4, 3. Then we'd have 4 bulbs with 4, 3 bulbs with 3. So it's either 5, 2, 4, 3, or 1, 2, 4 as a triple. And the bad thing about that is that there is no common digit between those 3 options. 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, that's got 4 common. But 5, 2 has nothing in common with 4, 3, and 1 digit in common with 1, 2, 4. That's very, very annoying. Okay, so maybe I've not understood the rules. Let me go back to the rules. What else have we got going on here? Squares. A square indicates how many cells in its region are on a thermometer. That feels like a second order. That's something that I feel you can only really work on. Actually, how many squares have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Yeah, okay. So the squares all have to be in different regions. That's interesting. And the reason they have to be in different regions is, let's imagine they were in the same region. So let's say that was a region. What number would you put in both of these squares? Well, the way you would compute it is you would count the number of digits in this region on a thermo. You would arrive at the answer of 3, but you'd have to then put 3 in both of those positions. So you'd inevitably repeat a digit in a region, which is against the rules. So, in fact, what we need to do is to delineate between these squares. These squares it's quite hard to see that one. These squares have to be in different regions. So these are the 9 regions of the puzzle. No, I was then trying to see if there were cells like this one or this one, which are far away from most of the squares, but actually it looks very simple for us to get into a lot of these squares from any of the cells in the grid. Okay, what was the other region? What was the other thing about thermos? The bulbs were doing 2 things. I can't remember what the other thing was. Additionally, the digit in the bulb indicates... Oh, the border crossings, yes. Okay. Okay, right. Now we've got rid of 5-2 as an option then. Okay, because the longest thermo is 5 cells long. And a 5-cell thermo could only cut 4 different borders, couldn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So you can't write 5 into any of the bulbs, not because you couldn't arrange 5s within these bulbs such that they didn't repeat in a row or column, and not because the thermos are too short, but because if you do put a 5 into even the longest thermo in the puzzle, that thermo cannot have 5 border cuts along its length. So we're only so we're either dealing with 1, 2, 4 in these squares. Well, we're definitely dealing with the digits 1, 2, 3 and 4 in the bulbs. But now we've got a common digit, which is 4, because it's either 1, 2, 4 adding up to 7, or it's 3, 4 adding up to 7. So 4 of the bulbs are 4s. Now, okay, 4 of the bulbs are 4s. I don't know if that's meant to be useful. So 4 of them are... So 4 of them are maximally cut, aren't they? I just can't see whether there's a way to... Oh, I suppose we can't cut these ones 4 times. It's quite unusual because the 2 circle rules, they operate differently. So 4 is an easier digit to put in the 4-cell thermo than it is to put in a 5-cell thermo, obviously, because the 5-cell thermo has to go one more step up. So putting a 4 into the bulb of these is easier, but it's harder because you can't cut a 4-cell thermo 4 times. So these are not 4s. So that means these 5, let's highlight those bulbs. So those bulbs, there are 5 of them, but 4 of them are 4s. Ah, that's it. Right, there you go. Those 2 can't both be 4. This is very clever. This is really clever stuff. So these are all 4s. And these, let's change the colours now, because these might not all be in the same region. But now we can do some delineation, because along each of these thermos, we have to have the maximum number of border cuts, which I presume is going to reveal some stuff. Certainly up here, this is incredibly constrained. Now, right, let's colour this in. So we've got this one has to be in the same region as that one. This one has to get out, obviously, and that's right, isn't it? There's no possible way that this is not right. I think that's got to be right, because these have to be in different regions. This one, this purple one, has to be in a different region from this one, so it has to grow out here. It can't be in the same region as this. So these just have to grow, and it has to keep growing. Or could it be in the same region as that? No, because these 2 are in different regions. Yeah, that's fine. So that's got to grow. That's got to grow. This is some new region coming out of the top here. This is some new region. The only difficulty is going to be blue. We haven't used blue. That's a nice colour, isn't it? So let's have blue. Let's delineate these. Now, do we... Okay, yeah, we do. We know that these 2 are in different regions because of this thermometer's cut. So this now has to turn, and that means that one has to turn, which means this one has to grow, which means this one has to grow. Very cute. Very nice. Okay. So look, we're starting to build. We've got 4 regions identified. And we're starting to build them out. Now, well, okay, the other thing we can do here that's straightforward, Mark would have done this first, is that we can pencil mark a 5-cell thermo that starts with a 4, because there can only be 2 options, can't there? That can be 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, or 8, 9. And we can do that on all of these thermos. So let's see if that yields anything clever. No, I don't think so. Maybe, but I'm not seeing where. I know one of these is a 4, and whichever one is a 4 is going to have lots of high digits. If that's a 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9. No, it's not quite. I wondered if that was doing something in this row, but I don't think it is. This circle is not a 1. I mean, that is a tiny point, but I'm going to make it. Because if that was a 1, it should only have 1 cut, but it has a cut there and another cut here. So this is at least a 2. So if we could force this up to 3, then we would know that these were all 3s and 4s, and we have one more 4, which would have to go there, because otherwise we'd have double 3 in this row, so we'd have double 3 here. So can we force this up again is the next question. So if that's a 3, then we have a cut here. This is then green. Let's just have a quick look at this. We go green, green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have to get this to a square. Ah, that's going to be it, isn't it? So we've got to get, so it has to get that one. Ah, that's beautiful. Right, that's definitely not a 3. Because if that's a 3, how does this one get a square into its region? And we know there must be 1 square in every region from the logic we did earlier. Now I think, I'm going to stare at this for a moment or two longer, but I think if this is 3, we force a sort of boundary here. So the green region gets forced through this like passageway to this cell. And now we've used 7 cells of green, and we've got to get to a square within 2 cells. So we have to go to that one. And we have to go directly and not pass it. Well, we can't pass go and collect $200 or £200. So we have to go through another 4. So that's wrong. That's definitely wrong. Which means that we are in a world, I think, where this is a 2. And therefore, there is no boundary between these 2 cells, which means that must be green, which means that's purple, that's blue, that's yellow. Now, we don't know, do we, whether we... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like it wants to get this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, 8, 9. It could get this one. But it definitely doesn't get this one by coming that way. So it either goes there or it goes there. Okay, and how many thermometer cells are in its region? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least. If it gets that one, it's at least 6. So whichever square we go to for the green region has quite a big number in it. Oh no, I thought I'd just seen something obvious. Where is 1 in row 3? It can't be here. It can't be midway up a thermo, can it? So that's 1 must be in one of these 2 squares. 3 is in one of those as well, but 3 could go here. Probably does, because the thermo's just growing fairly naturally then. That square can't be 4. So this is at least a 5, I think. So that is 5, 6, 7 or 8, to borrow a good living expression. So that is 6, 7, 8 or 9. Look at this. There's stuff almost happening in a variety of places. So, so if that was 4, wouldn't I have a problem in this row then? Yeah, that's straightforward, isn't it? Okay, so this one is not the 4, because if this is 4, how would you get the digits 1, 2, 3 and 4 into row 4? You couldn't. Let me show you. If that's 4, this is at least 5, this is at least 6, this is at least 7. Now, in this row, where are we putting 1, 2, 3 and 4? There's nowhere for them. We've got 3 cells to put in 4 different digits. That's very clever as well, isn't it? So it's a very nice setting. This cannot be a 4. So this is a 4. And therefore we can cut this thermo up. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's got a square in it as well, which means that the region this belongs to cuts or has 4 thermometer cells on it. Yeah. Okay, that doesn't feel like it's... Oh, you know what I've also not picked up on? That's a 2. Now here is a knowledge bomb I'm about to share with you from Cracking the Cryptic. 2 is not the same digit as 3. It is true. That is true. But what that means is, in working out how we're going to dispose of these bulbs, of all these thermos, we can't have 4 4s and 3 3s. So we must be in 4 2 1 land, which means these 2 squares are not 3s. And what does it mean? If you put a 1 on a thermo bulb, oh, it cuts once, so that could be a single cut. If that's a 1, we're saying no. Okay, I don't know if I can do anything with that. Okay, but we can pencil mark this one. 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9. There's a 6, 7 pair in column 7. So that digit might be under pressure now. Or not. I mean, 1, 2, 3, or 2 or higher, 3 or higher, 4 or higher. So it's 4, 5, can't be 6 or 7. Oh, it could be 8. Bobbins. It's 4, 5 or 8. It's not actually. Well, that one's at least 5, I suppose. 5, 6. No, it's not 6 or 7. So this is 5, 8 or 9. Look. Oh, nearly. Okay. Right. Don't know what to do. This is in its own region, so I'm going to colour those in with a new colour. We can make these orange. Now I've got definitely... Well, I think I've got definitely 5 regions. I'm going to claim that none of these regions can be, you know, so it's not possible for, say, purple to be the same region as orange. That must be true, because well, I say it must be true. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it just can't go round. It can't get there, I don't think. No, it would be far too large to allow that to happen. And yellow can't be purple because you'd have to fit in a 9-cell region here in between and then loop round it. So I think it's fair to say that these are 5 different regions. Now, so what do we do next? I mean, it feels... I was about to say something which I probably shouldn't say. I mean, it's not that it's controversial. I just don't think it's that intelligent a thing to say. I mean, what I was going to say is it feels like we know far more about the top left of the grid than we do, say, this part of the grid. So I've got to identify something up here, probably. But it doesn't look terribly appetizing. If that's green, and if that's not green, maybe that's a better question. If that's not green, let's just make that something else. Let's make that grey for a moment. What does that do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got to put in 3 more. That's got to grow. That's got to grow. But the problem is that yeah, no, it's not. I was thinking, is it difficult to get this one into a? Maybe actually, let's delete that. I was thinking, is it difficult to get this one into a square if I took a green one here? I don't think it is difficult, actually. Well, it's moderately difficult. In fact, it's very powerful, because then this one, the way that purple has to get a square within 9 cells is it just has to drop down like that, like a stone. Because that's the only thing I think it can get to within 4 cells of this one. So that feels like it would be incredibly constraining. That's interesting for this one as well. Then this one would go there and have to come out through here because it couldn't take another square. So that one would do something like this. That almost feels like it's correct to me, actually. So how do we disprove, or how do we prove that that is what's meant to happen? The way to prove that is to stop that happening. So if that turns down and this, well, that is very constrained. I can see that immediately. If blue comes down here, then purple nabs this square, which means green can't nab this square, and green needs to get to a square. Let's get rid of that grey again. How does green get to a square? It's got to get this square, hasn't it? So green has to do that. Right, and that doesn't work because now blue has a problem. Because purple has to keep growing, and purple going there, we've just said that blue can't take this square because it's already got a square. But blue now, because blue's come here and this thermo is divided up into lots of things, blue can get that one, but it can't go anywhere now. Because it can't go into yellow, it can't go into another square, it can't go into a thermo that's got this many divisions along it when it's already got the bulb. So blue is capped out at 5, and that's no use. Right, so the trick here was to realise that blue doesn't turn down. I'm just wondering if I could have seen that in some smooth way. I mean, it's very nice once you investigate it, but I don't think I could have... Let me just think about that. If blue takes that, I'm wondering about whether it's where 4 goes in purple that would just be instantly... I don't know. I can't see a better way. So blue doesn't take this. So blue does go there. And if blue doesn't take this, look, we can delineate this. We can delineate this. Blue doesn't go into this one because that would be a second square. So blue goes in there. Blue comes out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Blue's got a square, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, how many thermo cells has blue taken? And it's taken 2 so far. So this is at least 2. That's not really interesting either. It could start taking loads more, I think. Yellow's got its square now. Okay, so yellow's got to keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 6 yellows already. But yellow doesn't have to get a square anymore. Although yellow's square probably has quite a small digit in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think the most number of thermocells you can get into yellow now is 3. So I think that is 1, 2, or 3. And it can only get 3 if it dips down straight away and picks up these 2. Now, what does this mean? I don't know. Let's think. Can we do anything terribly obvious as a result of this? Does this bulb is saying how many... I keep losing track of exactly what the rules mean. The bulb is... how many... no, the border cut we've done, and the number of other bulbs that have 4s on it we've done. So the bulbs basically now... well, apart from the 1s and the 2s, they still have to be considered. But other than that, I think the bulbs have worked their magic on the puzzle. This can't be an 8. Because if that was an 8, this would be a 9, and that cell would be impossible. So that is not 8. Yeah, that's underwhelming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it takes this one, that is a 5 or higher. It looks like it again. It feels like there's something I'm meant to appreciate about the number of high digits in row 4. Why is this grey again? Every time I come back to it, this one's become grey again. I don't think that this grey was something we were exploring when we were trying to pen green into coming up into this area, wasn't it? I think this could absolutely still be green. If it is green, if it is green, then green has to get that one, that square, I think. Because we know it can't, green can't get a square by coming along here because it would have to go through the 4. So it can't reach this square anymore because it's only got 2 more cells to take. So this would definitely be green. Purple would have to come round the houses there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So purple would have to do that. And then purple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would have a 6 here, which would be very nice. That would make that a 5. I don't know. That's tricky as well, isn't it? So how do we stop? Or maybe what we have to do is to say, can green go to that one? Because if green goes to this one, I think there's only one way it can do it, and that's literally like that. Because it's already had 6 cells, so if it's not taking that one, it has to dip underneath it and go to here. Now, what does that do to the world? That cell is then in purple, I think. Because this must be in purple, because purple has to get out, so purple is going to take this square, which hypothecates both of those to purple. So purple is now... So purple gets completed like this, and green gets completed like this. And then we need something to be wrong with one of these regions. And the thing that's wrong is... what's that digit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 7. Oh, thermos. Oh, that breaks. All right, I don't have to worry about the shape of purple. Right, let's go back and let me show you. This does not work. It doesn't work for a rather pretty reason on this thermo, believe it or not. So what we're saying is that if green takes this shape, this cell, which is the square in green, I'm going to double check this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a 7. And now this thermo has a 7 here, so this has to be an 8, 9 pair, and that square cannot exist. That cannot be as high as 7. So green doesn't take this square. So the square that green gets is that one. And that's going to be great because now purple gets pushed here. Purple has to get out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Purple has to get a square within 9. So that is what purple looks like. Okay, so now we still don't know what green's doing. Green could be absolutely coming down here. We know this is a new that region could be orange. This square could belong to orange. So we don't know whether this is a new region or not. But we can get that digit, can't we? Because we can just count how many thermocells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a 6. Which means that's a 5 by Sudoku logic. That's not 5 anymore, so that's gone up. So this can't be 6 now, because this is a 6-7 pair, apparently. That's a 7, 8, or a 9. Oh, look at this. If that was 8, that would be a quadruple in the row. Do we know what the minimum value of this is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that's at least 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, so that is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So that doesn't stop that being an 8, though. That would be a 5. Okay, but this can't be a 5 because it needs to get another thermocell, I'm going to claim now. Because the only way this is a 5 is if this is the limit to the number of thermocells it takes is the ones it's already taken. But we've still got loads, still got to put 2 more digits in to green. And if we're not taking that one because we're trying to keep this at 5, we have to take these 2 because we can't take the square, and that's going to take another one here. So that is not 5, that is at least 6. And now that is a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple, which means, oh, that's not great. So that's now lowered this one, which is going to have an effect on this side of the thermo rather than where I thought it was going to apply. So this now can't push this up beyond 5. So that's going to be 3 or 4, isn't it? And that's going to be 2 or 3. Is there something wrong with the logic there or not? I don't think there is. That feels where's 1 in this row? It can't repeat in purple, so 1 is in blue there. And this square, well, okay, where's 5 in this row? 5 in purple is here, or 5 in purple is there, so it can't be there. So 5 has to be there. Where's 4 in this row? 4 can't be there, so 4 is here. So now these are a 2, 3 pair, and the 3 in row 3 is there. So this is 2, this is 3. Don't tell me that does nothing. Oh, you rotten puzzle. This is not 5 by thermologic. Wow. Goodness me. Okay. That's amazing. Right, so that has done very little to help our cause, actually. Isn't that incredible? Wow. Therefore, we've got to think harder. It is tricky. It's very tricky for me, at least, to keep track of all these rules and try and see this smoothly to some conclusion. Have we learned anything about any other cells? I have got a 6, 7 pair. I think I already knew about that in this column. I've nearly got a quadruple in this row. If that digit is not 3, what is it? That digit is 3, believe it or not, because if that is not 3, it can't be 4, 5 or 6, so it would have to be at least 7, and that can't be higher than 7. So that is 3, which is a very strange one. And now maybe we have to pencil out these squares. Yeah, certainly this one. that has to be 7, 8 or 9, and that's useful. That is useful. In fact, let's just stop there, because now in this row I've got a 7, 8, 9 triple, which means that square is 6, which means that square is 7. So I've now got an 8, 9 pair, and that square is 6 in the green square thingy. Oh, that's beautiful. Look, I've got double 6, so this can't be green anymore. Right, so that gets the grey that it wanted to be earlier. That gets greyed. That gets oranged. We can do a whole load of delineations. Well, we could do that. Now, do we now know that these two are green? I think we do. 5, 6, 7. We need 2 more cells of green, and we can't bump into a square, so they must be those. We can delineate green. We have determined exactly its properties. Let's do a whole ring of black around the grid so that we complete our regions with the same width of border. Now that's a 5, therefore, because 6 has already appeared in its region and its row. We haven't put 1 and 3 into these two squares, so they're a 1, 3 pair. And that's going to be very useful for the following reason. Right, brain, come on, think of a reason. Quick, brain. Naughty brain. Naughty, useless brain. Okay, where is 4 in this row? That is a reasonable question. It has to go there. So that square is a 1, 2, or a 3. And that's in a square. But it doesn't seem to see anything of any use at all. Wow, okay. Okay. These squares are from... Oh, can't we just do the same games that we were doing on this row in this row? Where's 5? It can't be in purple, so it has to be there. Where's 6? It can't be in purple, so it has to be there. So that means that's 7, that's 8, that's 9, and that's not 9 anymore. There's a 7, 8 pair in this row, so that's 9. Okay, that felt like it was some sort of progress. Therefore, there's a lot of Sudoku in this puzzle. Scojo, what are you playing at? I don't know, it feels like something's going on down there, doesn't it? But I can't see how it would work. Okay, let's just take stock. What can we do with this newfound knowledge of the world? Can we do anything? Oh, blue can't go there, because that would put 2 5s in blue. So blue, I think, has to continue down on its merry way down the grid. So it cascades down to this square. We've now got 7 cells of blue. Now, how many thermo cells have we got in blue? We've got 2. So and this can't be a 2. So I'm going to claim that has to be a 3, actually, because it can't be a 4 by Sudoku, and it can't be a 5. And it's only got 2 more cells to take, so it must be a 3. And that means that's a 1, and that's a 3. So this is a 1, 2 pair now. These 2 digits have to be different, don't they? Ah, no. Oh, bobbins. I was thinking I could use this one, because this has already had 1 cut in it. But those, I don't know, actually. This could be a 2 if that's a region, and this is in a different region to this square. This one we don't seem to know anything about at all. Bother. Okay. There. Oh, I don't know. Okay, so we've got to do something else. Don't know. What about the number of... Oh, does this one did end up with 6 thermocells, did it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it did. Okay, so the logic for green is fine. Has everything got a square that's meant to have a square? No, orange hasn't got a square. Grey could get that square very easily. Grey probably can't have that square because that's going to cut orange off. Oh, hang on. Where are all the squares? There. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There should be one more. Where's the other one? Ah, is that there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang on. I'm going to do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So where does orange get its square from? It can't get that one. That's far too far away. So orange is getting a square. Orange can't have the purple square. So orange is either getting that square. Well, it's not getting that square. Because if orange goes and tucks itself in there, they can't fit a grey 9-cell region inside any sort of orange envelope that we're going to build. So that's orange. Now that's quite useful because you can't then fit another region in here and connect orange round the side. So this is all orange. This is grey, because grey needs a thingy. That's grey by the same logic that we made this orange. So now we might be able to play games with... No, we probably can't actually. What is this digit? Grey already has 3 cells on it that are thermocells. And it can't be 3 in this square. It can't be 4. Maybe it could be 5, but it can't be 6. So it's 5. Oh, it has to be 5 by the thermo. That's beautiful. That's really clever setting. So that is 5. And we've got to get 2 more cells of thermo onto grey. Well, we could grab these 2 just very straightforwardly, couldn't we? If we don't do that, it's very difficult. Because how could you get to that thermo cell with grey and not pick up these? Because you couldn't take both of those then. So you could take that one, but we can't loop round another region here. That's nonsense. So these 2 are definitely grey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 of grey, 6 of orange. And I have a lot of difficulty believing anything else can get down here, any other regions. How many regions have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got, oh, well, okay, that's not what I just said. I don't think is legitimate then. But anything I put in here has to get to a square. I suppose it could get to that square maybe. Yeah, maybe it could get to that square. I didn't think of that. Yeah, said Batty Bat, I've got a wheeze. Well, above the trees. When hissing Sid should slither by, we'll drop a boulder from the sky. Said Artful Owl, I like your plan. Oh, no, said Artful Owl, the idea's sound. How will you lift it off the ground? Batty Bat just scratched his head. I haven't thought of that, he said. Okay, now stop it. Stop thinking about Captain Beaky. It won't help you to solve Scojo's puzzle. There'll be no scolving today. Bobbins, what on earth do we do now? We could argue about that's not a 5, is it? I can't use that to say this is a 2-3 pair. All we're saying, in fact, is that this one is higher than this one. That doesn't look good. I don't think we know what to do with that. Okay. Probably what we're going to have to do, I don't know. I really am not sure. This is a new region, isn't it? So that deserves its own colour, and the colour we shall award it is red. I've not used red. That's absolutely remiss of me. So this is a red region, and all we know about it is very little. Gosh, I don't know what to do. What could it be? 5 and 4 in this row? 4 is, actually, that's a good question, isn't it? Where does 4 go in row 2? It can't go in blue. It can't go in these squares by Sudoku. It goes there. That might be helpful in terms of the geometry of this one. 5 is in one of those two squares by exactly the same logic, but we don't have 5s in these squares yet. So this column needs 1, 2, 3 and 8 into it. So let's put those in. 1, 2, 3 and 8. Can we do anything useful with those? I don't think so. Do we know what thermo? Yeah, hang on. Doesn't that have to be a 1? I've got one thermo cell at the moment in orange. How do I get another one? There's no way I can get there. So that's a 1. I hadn't appreciated that. Oh, it's so close to allowing me to put a 1 in column 3, actually. What about this column then? 2, 4, 8, 9. That is a naked single. Good grief. That's a vicious one. Look at that. It sees 4, 8, 9 in the row. So that's a 2. That means that's a 1. And, oh, that's the only one we're allowed in Sudoku bulbs, remember? So that's a 2. That's a 1. That feels very strange, actually, because, oh no, well, okay. So that's saying that this region that 1 is in has only got 1 thermocell in it, yet it's almost horseshoed in by thermocells. I suppose, no, it can't go up 2 because that would take 2 thermocells. That one is quite hemmed in, I think. Once we understand it, we might be able to do something with that. But can we do more with this column? We have not put 4. Where's 4 in this column? It's got to go here. So this is an 8 because it can't be a 9 because 9's already appeared in grey. So that's a 9. That feels like it might matter. Yes, where's 9 in this row? It's got to go here. Pregnant pause when I try and work out what that means. I've got nothing. I've got nothing. Come on, brain. Do better. We could... Oh, I don't know. Let's try this row. 3, 5 and 6. So that's 3 or 6 now. Can we do something with... That's 3, 5 or 6. Bother. What about that? If that was in grey, it would have to be a 3. As this 6 has already appeared in grey. But there's probably no reason that this couldn't be orange or some new colour. 3, 1, 2. Ah, can we do something with that somehow? I'm just wondering about, I've got to get 3 thermocells into blue, and I've got 2 more movements of blue I'm allowed. So I either get the 8 here by dropping right down, which would be nice because that would fix this digit, or I have to take the 9. Now, what's wrong with either of those options? Looks very difficult to me to take the 9, just from a point of view of this. This has to get out and take 4 without bumping into that. This has to somehow get out. Yeah, what would be very helpful, actually, is if I could prove that wasn't a 1. Because if I could prove that wasn't a 1, we've already had 6 cells of yellow. I think yellow's going to do that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, actually yellow is not doing that, is it? Because if yellow did that, where would you put 9 in row 1? Nowhere is the answer. So yellow doesn't take this square. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So maybe it just rolls round here and then this is a 1. And this comes out here somehow. Yeah, that might work. Okay. That's not yellow. That feels like an important point. Oh, I suppose red could come around there maybe. Right, okay, so I don't really know where the best place to look is now. I was going to say that this clearly can't be grey. I want to say that must be orange. If this isn't orange, it's part of a new region that needs to get to a square. The only one it can get to in 9 cells is that. And that would put 2 4s in it. So that's definitely orange. Now, what about that one? We need a 2 in orange. Though I haven't found one yet. Oh, alright. Where's 2 in column 3? And I can use this fictitious v, this greater than sign now. Because if that was 2, you'd have to put a 1 beneath it. And you can't. So that's not 2, and I think that means that's 2 in the column. And that means that's not 2. So this is 3 or 8. But now I've got a choice of 2s that I can apply to the benefit of orange. We don't know which is which. Okay, so that's not been helpful actually. Right, there's a 1 here we can get now, according to my pencil marks. How many 1s have we got? We have got quite a few. We have got 6 indeed. Now, what does that mean? Feels like, gosh, 1 in row 6 is really it's only got 2 positions. I'm not sure which of those I favour. I would rather it was here because that would put pressure on yellow. Okay, so we have to come up with something else. What should we come up with now? Is there going? We do have to put a 9 in blue. That's probably that 9, isn't it? Where else does it get? Oh, it could get a 9 from here. I don't know. It's tricky. Oh, I don't know. I'm stuck. I don't know what to look at. We've got a lot of 4s in the grid. I've got a umpteen. I haven't put a 4 in the bottom row. Is that the only 4 I'm missing? Yeah, sorry, that's a 4. Okay, so that's not going to do anything for me, is it? I don't think. No, it's not. So 2, 7, 8, 9 into this column. Let's just put the options in case that helps. So that's not 9. But it just doesn't see anything in its region. That one may well see things. If it's linked, well, if it's linked to grey, it's not 8 or 9. Okay. So, what about... Okay, let's think about red then. I think that's probably where we have to look next. Where does red grow? Now, if red didn't take this square, yeah, I think maybe this is a profitable line of inquiry. Which of these does red escape through? Now, if red escapes through this one, because it can only escape through, I suppose, no, I was about to say it could escape through 2, but if it escapes through 2, yellow is trapped in, so it definitely only escapes through 1. If it didn't escape through this or this, and it escaped through that, that also traps in yellow, so it doesn't escape through this one. If it escapes through this one, it can't escape through these 2, and it would bump straight into a 4. So red definitely comes down here. And now red has to continue, doesn't it? Because we've just established it can't take these 2 cells without penning in yellow. It can't take either of these 2. It clearly can't take that one, but if it took that one, it would pen in yellow. So yellow definitely red, sorry, definitely comes to here. Now, that's it. There we go. Now we're going to push blue down because red cannot bump into this 4 either. And therefore, red has to take this square. And now blue has to come down. And oh, okay, and we were worried, weren't we, about where blue was going to get a 9 from. And I'm still worried. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It hasn't got a 9 in it yet. And those two squares are not 9. So that must be 9. Okay. And now, oh, this is lovely. Right, red can't bump into that, because red's not allowed a second square. So red drops down here, and now that's got to be blue. And that finishes blue from nowhere. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, that's 8, so that's 7. So that's 6, so that's 3. So that's not 3. We need an 8 or a 9 here. That will definitely be bigger than 2. We can't deny that. That's a naked single. That's a 2. It can't be 8 or 7 anymore. And hopefully that has a digital value of 6, which isn't breaking the row. Doesn't seem to be breaking the column yet. So that's probably good news. We haven't put 5 and 8 into these squares. So these are a 5-8 pair. Now, okay. So we know that's definitely not part of red. We know that red has to get 4 thermocells, and it's already got 3, so it needs another. Oh, I see, it can get one from down here. Probably that one, but not certain about that. Okay, that's not 8, I'm seeing, by the row. So that's 1, 2, or 3. Okay. How many, oh no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I've had a horrible thought. Okay, here's my horrible thought. I have a horrible feeling that there was a quick way of doing this whole puzzle. I didn't think of it until I've just thought of it now. Here's my horrible thought. The sum of the digits in the squares must equal the number of thermocells in the puzzle. That must be right. And haven't I got... I've got all of the squares apart from that one. So this cell has been deducible probably for about 20 minutes. Bother, I didn't think of this. Right, so what I need to do, and this is going to be quite tricky actually, I've got to somehow add up exactly how many thermocells there are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. In fact, could I do it the shortcut way? Weren't there 5? Weren't there 5? No, weren't there 5? There were 5 5-cell thermos and 2 4-cell thermos, I think, in the puzzle, because that's what we were looking at the start. And if that's right, then there are 33 thermocells. So now all I need to do is add up the squares. Where are the squares? Right, 1, 6, 12, 18, 21, 22, 30. Now is that all? Does that mean that's a 3, or is there something, have I missed out one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm definitely doing that again. But that would seem to indicate that's a 3. So let's double check that. 1, 6, 12, 18, 21, and 9 is still 30. So that seems to indicate this is a 3. Okay, well, the one piece of relief I take from that is that doesn't seem to be, well, no, I was about to say it doesn't seem to be doing a great deal, but it has actually given me 2 digits immediately. Trying not to sneeze. Okay, but that also, gosh, for ages I've been wanting to prove this isn't a 1, and now I have. So this yellow region now needs more thermocells. And we know it couldn't take the 9 because then we couldn't put a 9 in row 1. So it must take that thermocell, which means it must take that because we've got to can't take this. So now how many cells have we got? We've got 8. But we need another thermocell, so we've got to take that as well. Oh, this is it. This is beautiful. That's such a clever point. I just didn't think of it. But I have thought about it now. 4, 5, 6. Okay, so where's this digit in the top row? Because it can't appear in yellow and it's not equal to 4 or 5, so that's a 7 or an 8. And these two are the same, so let's give them a letter or something to remind ourselves of that. And okay, so now we've got a new region building out down this column, haven't we? And that's really interesting as well. No jokes about me at parties, please. But that can't bump into this square because it's already got 3 thermocells on it. So that's some new region, which is clearly not red. So this is a new region. So okay, so this one is going to grab this square. So this is a region. This has to get out. So it's going to come at least to here. We can use, what colour should we use for this one that we've not used already? I don't know, what's it safe to use? Purple, I think. Purple is sort of insulated from this purple. So red has to come down here, red has to come down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, okay, so that's a stripe down the final column, look. That's a complete column of Sudoku. This one has to bend round the bottom, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could probably extend that further, but let's just think about red. 4, 5, 6, 7. So red finishes like that. And now that's going to allow us to finish purple, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, purple finishes. Okay, and we're just left with some scruffiness now to disambiguate the final 5 white cells. But surely we can do some Sudoku now. He says, and then fails to do anything at all. Alright, let's try that region. 3 and 8. Yeah, I can get 8 in that region. So that's a 3, which means that's a 9, which means this is 2 or 7. We must be able to do better than that in this column. What's going on in this column? I've got a bad feeling. Oh no, that's 7 by Sudoku. That's 8. So 2, 7, 8 have gone, and that's a 9. Okay, that's fine. And that's an 8, and that's a 9 by Sudoku. And that's a 7, and that's an 8 by Sudoku. Come on, keep going. Don't know. There must be an easy win here somewhere. We need to... Oh, I know. We need to put 5 in yellow. So that's got to be a 5, which means that's an 8 and that's a 7. That's the 7. We know those two are the same, didn't we? So now these 2 squares, or 3 squares, are 1, 2, and 8. I feel like I can put the 8 in, yes, and the 1 and the 2. So now this column ought to be achievable. Even for me, that's a 7. This column ought to be achievable. That's a 5. This bottom row needs 3, 6, and 9. So that's a naked single in the corner. And that is a naked single, and that's 3 in the corner, that's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Oh yes, it is. Now I can delineate this, that'll make me feel like I'm making progress. I need 1 and 5 in this column, so 1 and 5 go in. In this column, I need 2, 3, oh that's done actually, so that's done. I need 2 and 3 in this column, that must be done. Yes, 2, 3, 2, 1. This row needs something, being a 6. And so we're going to do the Sudoku here. We've done the Sudoku, but we haven't finished because I've still got to do the regions. So what's going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need to put a 2, definitely. I need to put a 9 into orange. Ah, and that does it, look. Because that, taking that as the 9 that orange can get, isolates the 2 which we know that orange needed, and that is now 9 cells of orangeliness, which means those squares, let's see if they do, look, you can immediately see 2, 3 and 7 were missing from grey, and we've just found them, so I'm fairly confident this is correct. That is a brilliant puzzle. Let's click tick. Yay! You solved the puzzle. 66 minutes, just over an hour. Okay, that's not terrible. It's not absolutely terrible. It's 4 stars, so that's probably about right for a chaos construction. Solve counter 75. Like, oh, I've got to like the puzzle. I definitely like that very much. If I could give it more hearts, I would, Scojo. Very, very cool. Really interesting. It's hard, at least initially, to keep track of what all the rules were meaning, but there weren't that many of them, and it's just a beautiful idea. The juxtaposition of the thermobulb rules with the squares, and the fact there are 9 squares and you have to make sure the regions find a square, it's really cool. And actually, to be fair, that might be my favourite cell today, because once you have that thought, you sort of realise, it's a real epiphany. You suddenly realise, and that was huge, wasn't it? Once we got that, it basically filled the puzzle in for us. Oh, that's going to have annoyed people, but I saw it. There could be other instances of unfilled borders between regions. I'm sorry if there are. I know it will annoy somebody. It would annoy me. But hopefully that is now a complete grid. Anyway, let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.